Hi guys, this is a bit different from what I usually do. I had some people in 𝐈𝐍𝐅 Discord server wondering how to make thumbnails, and I said I would make a video. Also, it's currently raining, so I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background or if you hear any cars. There's not really much I can do about that because I have an AC in my window because yay, summertime! So anyways, we'll get started. The program that I use is Cinema4D. Some people use Blender, but in my experience, Blender isn't as good and as Cinema4D is. Cinema4D, I just have so much stuff that I can do with my rigs, and it's so much easier to pose them and everything. Blender is a great program, and I personally love Blender, but for making Minecraft renders for my thumbnails, Cinema4D is just simple and easy for me. The rig that I use is 𝐌𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐂 Advanced Rig. It is $10, but I can assure you it is so worth it. A lot of rigs that people used to use in the past was 𝐕𝐍𝐄 version 7, but it seems that that one is no longer available, which sucks because it was a really good rig. It was a really good rig for being free, but I can't seem to find it publicly anymore. I used to use it, but yeah, I currently don't know any like free rigs that are good. This is the only rig that I use. So let's get started into how to use this. Basically, let me open up a new thing. This is how your Cinema4D is gonna look like when you open it. So you're gonna take your folder wherever your rig is stored. Mine is right here. Ignore some of these other things. And then you're gonna take this 𝐌𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐂 Advanced Rig and you're gonna slide it over. And when that happens, you're gonna get this new window that pops up. And in here, you have like other rigs, like he has an HD version. He's got presets for like if you want certain styles, if you want it to look a certain way, if you want it to be like a kid and all that, or it's just a basic one. My favorite thing is to go into presets and then go into female style. But also if you want HD, you will have to set that up. Because, here, I'll show you. This is how the HD looks. Currently there's no HD skin on here, but this is how it looks. So if you want it to look the way I have mine, then there's a couple things that you're probably gonna have to do. And we can set that up. So first of all, what I do with the body is I have the chest is 50 for female. I just have this set as the base. So if you want to make a female, do 50 here. And then the waist is 25. And then I also click here on smooth edges. And then I turn it to 20%. Just to give the model, the rig a bit of like some smoothness. Okay, we're gonna come down here to same area where the chest and waist is. We're gonna go to here, the arms taper, and we're gonna turn that to 25. And then legs taper, we're gonna turn that to 15. So now your rig is all nice looking. This is the default settings, I'm pretty sure, for the female preset. Maybe, I don't know, I don't mess around with the female preset too much. This is just how I have mine set up. So now we're just gonna click on this box here and we're gonna do some things. So we're gonna zoom in to his face, and then we are going to click on the pupils. We're gonna do big. You don't really see much here, but we're just gonna do that. Eyebrow height. These are all settings that I have for my rig, because you're gonna have to do some setting up if you really want it to look nice. So I do -0.5. -0.5. Right eyebrow thickness, I set that to 6. And same for the left. The width, I just changed to 13. It's not that much of a difference, but it's what I like. So eye height here, we're gonna set it to -2. And then we're gonna go to right eye size and set this to 100, and same with left. So there we go. Now we have our eyes set the way we want them to. Also, don't click the eyelashes unless you really want them. It just messes with the eyebrows a lot. I personally just don't like it, don't care for it. So I just always have them off. So now we're going to go back to our mouth, and we're going to set the X here at the top to -8.167, and this will be 12.5, so then the mouth is just a lot smaller. Also, this is for teeth when you open their mouth. See this little line there? I usually like to try and keep the gap off, so from here, your model is basically all set up for females. If you do want those HD eyes though, you can go down to the bottom here. You can very easily just change the color of the eyes here, if you don't care. But there is also some other things. So there's shade, there is anime, and there's also custom eye shines that you can turn on up here, where it is these. But I don't personally mess with this because I have my own eye textures. And then there's custom. So there's already a texture set, but I just made my own texture, and I have a folder for it. And these are all the textures. These are just some testing ones I was working with. So we'll just do these eyes. Oops, forgot to do custom. Oh, I forgot to do one thing now that I'm looking at it. So that's how you do the custom anime eyes. But if you also want the eyes to be round, like how I have them, then we go back up to here and the eyes, and we're going to do pupil smooth out, make that 100. Then down here, I set this to 80, and then I set this bottom one to not 100. Is it this one to 100? Yes, I set this one to 100. And ta-da! Now we have our round anime custom HD eyes. So these are all the settings. Since I have no clue how to set presets, all I do is I just use save as and I just called mine base. And then anytime I want to load in a new character, I just load them in through here. So let me open up mine. So here is mine. This is my base. It's with my own Minecraft skin because I just put it on there. Hello, Editor Summer here. There's some things I completely forgot to go over that I'm now realizing as I'm editing my video. So I will just go over them now. So the way you can put on a skin is you click on the skin up here, and then you go down to here to custom skin. You click these 3 dots, and then you can click on a skin. Something very important to note though is that you need to get rid of the eyes on your skin. So if I click on the normal version of my skin with her eyes, first of all, like, she has the eyelashes, so you can see that. But if I go in here and I go to adjust her position, if I want to, adjust her expression, not her position. Let's say I want to move her eye up. You can see the other eye below it. So you have to make sure that your eye, the eyes on your skin is gone. I can show you that in here. So let me just open up here. Let me just grab some secrets in Lunera's skins. So let me go to my Claire skin. So here's her with eyes. And then here is for Cinema4D. So basically, as you can see, I literally just took the eyes out. That way, when I'm trying to make facial expressions, I don't have to worry about that. So that is it. Hopefully you guys won't see me again, but who knows? Maybe I may have made more mistakes. I didn't really write a script for this video, so yeah. Okay. So if you want things like, if you have more clothing layers and stuff, you simply just go up to the top here. And make sure you turn on these. Oops. You click here and you go to top here and just make sure you turn these on. So if I turn off and on body, you can see the hair that's going and going. Or coming and going. From here, we can now pose our little guy. So however you have your thing positioned like this is how it will render. So we're just gonna pose her, make her give her a little smile. If you grab these at the bottom here, it'll move the entire arm. So we'll just, you know, have her holding her arms out. That's what she's doing. We'll give her a little head tilt. Another thing is when you have your camera, which is how you get it. So for example, when I come here, how you get it is you click this. And then when you click on this little thing here, this is how your camera is, and you can position it like this. So if you want your camera a specific way, but you want to like keep it like that and then zoom into like their face, you just click on this little box here. So that way you can come in and out of your camera. Okay, now that we got her little pose, we can give her a little facial expression. So you're gonna scroll down here. You can also mess with all of this to help you with it. I usually just turn on the manual controls just because it's a lot easier for me to understand. So then we'll give her a little, she'll be a little confused, that's what will make her. So for these manual controls, if you click on the smaller box, it'll make it bend. If you move these, it'll move the ends here. If you click on the middle box here, it will move the entire eyebrow without making it bend. They can be kind of hard to click. Okay, so once I have that, we can then do eye controls. So these circles can adjust your eye in any way. It's mostly for just bending, and then the lines here move the entire eye. So with that done, I can unselect that, and then we can make her mouth all confused. So with this mouth size, you can make it longer, and this is how you open the mouth. And then mouth expression, you can make it happy, sad, you can mess around with it, make one side go up. And then this one, you can just move the mouth literally anywhere. But I, as per usual, like to use manual controls. Let's say I want to make her look at us more. Come to here. You can move, same thing with these boxes, they make it easier. But me, I like manual controls, so then you can just move the eyes. So let's just make her look that way. She's looking at something over there, confused. So once we have all that done, to get that 3D on top, you can click here. I don't particularly know the difference. I always just use new version, so it'll give your hair. If you want to do some more extruding, there are definitely ways to do that, and I kind of know, but I don't particularly know how to take the hat layer off, so I can't really help you that much with that. I don't really extrude the hair. Because the thing with this is the 30-second layer is it already manually extrudes it a little bit. But if you wanted to have more to make it a bit more detailed, I would have no idea how to do that. So once we have that, we're going to go to render up here and edit render settings. These are just the settings I have, so feel free to pause the video and just look at them. Oh, another very important thing that I completely forgot to mention is the Lightroom. So before you render anything, you'll want a Lightroom. The Lightroom that I use is 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐂 Lightroom. I don't think it's available to public anymore though, which sucks. But there's plenty of Lightrooms on YouTube, so I would say just kind of look around, see what you can find, but be very careful with what you're downloading and everything. But that's just what I use. So once you have all that done, then we're gonna go to these 3 boxes, and you're going to click on this one, and it will start rendering. Something else I forgot to mention is if you want to add like 3D objects, basically the way I go about it is I go here, new, and I will move whatever 3D object I have from where I've ever gotten it. So for example, my character has horns, so I take wherever I have it and I drag it in, and now that I have this here, I save it, and then I go back to my original and I do file, merge, and I open my file, and I think the horns are a bit small, so then I just have to resize them. So I click on this, go to here, I can resize them. We'll go to 50. It's kind of just, if they're not the right sizing, you just kind of really have to play around with the sizing. Okay, 50 I think works. So then now you have them, and you can just pose them and put them on. Okay, and if for some reason it does not have a texture, you just come down to here and you can set a color to it. And then once you get the texture, you can just render it as is and it will render. Okay, now that our render is finished, now what we do is we come over here and we right click and we click Save As. And once you do that, you can save it to whatever folder you want. I have a folder in my rigs called Renders. It's somewhere here. There it is. Renders. You name whatever you want. Call it 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐂. And then you save it. So after this, then we're going to go into Photoshop, and I'm going to show you how you do the Photoshop end of everything. So now that we're in Photoshop, we are going to go up here and click File, New, and we're going to create a new canvas. So we're going to make it, we're going to change the size, and it's going to be 1920 by 1080. So let's change that. So 1920 by 1080, because that's the usual size of YouTube thumbnails. So now we have a blank image. We're gonna right click here just to get that lock off. So some things that I like to do is first just bring in the background. I use just Minecraft screenshots. So we'll grab this one. We'll just grab this Minecraft screenshot, and then we're gonna select it and then put it into here. And then we're gonna resize it. Oh, by the way, select tool, and then I do Control-C, and then Control-V, and then you do Control-T, and press Shift, so you can do all that. So you can resize it, and it won't, because if you do this and you don't press Shift, it just warps the image. So that's why you press Shift when you're adjusting the size. So once we have this, we do Filter. Something that I like to do is I do Filter, and we're gonna give it a little blur. So we do Filter, Gaussian blur, and 4 sounds good. So now it's a little blurred. So we're gonna open a new layer. Actually, I don't think I need to. On the right here, where this little circle is, it might be a square, but you click on the square, and we're gonna change it to black. And then we go from here to here. And this adds a little border. So then I just lower the opacity. And then I'm just gonna rasterize this, just so I don't have to see the lines. So now we have a little border. It just adds a little extra flavor to it. So now that we have that, we can open, and we're gonna open up our render. We're gonna put our render in here. So now that we have our render, we're gonna select her and throw her in. And then we're gonna resize her and place her where we want. We're just gonna put her on the right here. So now we have our character in our thing. Some other things that I like to do is we're gonna click on them and we're gonna double click the layer with our Minecraft character. And we can add a bit of a stroke to make them stand out a bit more. Click on it. We're gonna make that a little thinner. And then we're gonna change the color to white and lower the opacity of that. Some other things that I like to do is I add an inner glow. And I change that to white. And then I increase the size, and then I lower the opacity. It just helps, it just, you know, makes them stand out from the background a bit more. I also like adding an outer glow. Sometimes I like making it like a certain color of the background. Other times I just do simply white. Increase the size of that, and then lower the opacity. So that way our character stands out a little bit more. So if we take those off, you see the difference. They stand out a little bit more. And then we're also going to make a new layer. We're going to zoom in on the character's eyes, because this is something else I really like doing. We're going to take the eyedropper tool here, and we're going to click on the lightest part of the eye, usually the bottom, and then we're going to make it lighter. And then we're going to take the brush and go to this brush right here where it's softer. We're going to turn the size down a lot, and then we just draw over it. I'm just going to do one eye at a time since our eyes are two different colors. And then with that, we come over here and we do linear dodge. Linear dodge add. And then we add some more. I lower the opacity just a bit, and then we come back over to the eraser tool, go to the hard eraser, and then we are going to get rid of the light where it comes through. So now that we got rid of that, we make it bigger, go to the lighter, and then we're just going to erase the top of it a bit. And then we're going to make a new layer and repeat that. So we're going to go over here to the color, and we're just going to make it a little bit lighter. And we're going to draw over it again, change to add, lower the opacity, just so we can see it a bit better. And then we are going to erase once again. So with that, then I just take these and I lower the opacity a bit more. And then it makes the eye look a lot brighter. So I'm going to go through and do the second eye as well. Okay, so now her eyes are glowing and are like a lot brighter than they were before. Get rid of that, you know, see they're a lot brighter. So from here, some other things you can do is you can add in your logo, you can add in some text, you can add in like a number for like if it's an episode title. So for me, I'm just going to add in some text, and we're just gonna make, because this is gonna be the thumbnail for this video. So we're just gonna add in some. Okay, so now that we have this, we can very easily just kind of like do some other things with it. I'm just gonna add a border to all these texts, just to help them stand out a bit more. And then some other optional things you can do is, I like to use these things called light leaks. So let's just use this one. So we got this one. Control C, and you just copy it. You put it on top, and then you click normal, and then you go to overlay, and then you just lower the opacity. It just helps bring out some color in your thumbnails that you may not have expected before. So I really like it. It just kind of helps my thumbnail maybe pop a bit more. So I'm gonna finish up this thumbnail, and I'll wrap this video up. And this is my Minecraft thumbnail completely done. This would be the exact same procedure I go through even for a roleplay thumbnail. I know the thumbnail that I made is more so just for this video, but this would be the exact same kind of thumbnail. This is the exact same procedure I go through. From posing, to rendering, to putting it all together. So, like, some other things you might add, like, with my other thumbnails is like these ones. If they've got some like numbers for episodes, and then I just add in the logo of the series. But I still basically will put, I still just do the same thing, same editing to the characters and all that. Sometimes I add in some extra things like blush, which is just simply like I take a airbrush and then I put it on the cheeks, and then I just lower the opacity, and then I do some little white lines, thin white lines on top of it. Other than that, it's the exact same way, or in the background here, I add these like action lines because it's kind of intense. So that is how I make my Minecraft thumbnails. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, then please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. After all, I have my own Minecraft roleplay coming out soon, so I hope you stay tuned for that. Well, bye!